Hello! Hey everybody, welcome in! Welcome to Highlight Heroes featuring Gothicfaerie. Faye!
Hi.
You're back! We missed you! Oh. Okay, so we're gonna... Parker, how are you doing, by the way? I just want to check in with you really quick. I feel
like you always do this in the beginning, and I'm like, we just sat on a conversation. I'm good, Josh. How are you?
This is my bit because I go like right out of the gate, and I'm like, Parker, do you have anything you want to say before we start?
I'm so good. It's really good to have you back, Faye. What's up?
We're vibing.
Woo!
We're super vibing.
So we have you here, but where else can people find you? What are you working on right now?
Yes.
Oh, well, you can find me on Somewhere Bound, which is another Twitch channel, D&D. I do the Frankenpunk anthology, which is kind of like weird combination of string of one-shots and kind of campaign. It's very fun. It's steampunk and literary and like real fun Charlie Day hand on the court board, like conspiracy theorist energy of trying to get everything together.
It's very fun to watch.
I love that.
Yes, very fun. And yeah, you can find me doing occasional one-shots elsewhere. So.
Yeah, including here. Yeah. You were just doing Neverland here, which was very much appreciated. Wow, I'm still
watched it. I made 3 out of 4 players cry.
It's very good.
Such a good selling point. I made my players cry. You should watch it.
You know when they hurt, it's that good feel. Ugh.
Like good hurt.
All right, so we're gonna ask you a whole bunch of questions, really like learn about your soul, Faye, and everything else. But before we do that, we're gonna do some announcements. Parker, take it away.
I'm here. Okay, so I'm here to talk about our schedule. So guys, actually, it's crazy. We have a pretty free week, so we're letting our campaigns have their weekends. We have a lot of people moving and traveling. I'll be in Colorado. So we're going to have no programming Friday or Saturday. You can use your time to check out the YouTube or where you listen to your podcasts if you'd like to catch up on the campaigns thus far. And then Sunday, we should have our roundtable for August. So Sunday, August 8th at 7 p.m. EST, we should have our roundtable episode. So it's a pretty free week. And then as far as a community event goes, thank you guys for funding the last one. We will be announcing the next one very soon. I'm working on scheduling that. So, Josh?
That's hella hype. Of course, none of this amazing programming that's not happening this week could happen without our fantastic sponsors, Skull Splitter Dice. They even sponsor us when we're not running shows, so you know what? Mad love to them. Skull Splitters Dice, they do giveaways during our shows, so get in for our next giveaway during Roundtable will be when we launch that. So there's not one running today, but in the meantime, go over to their webpage. The link is in chat, or click on the About Us section, big Skull Splitter link there. They're very good. They are very, very good, and we love them. So please go over there, take a look at that. Our second sponsor, of course, the gooeyest of cube companies, Gooey Cube. They make a whole bunch of D&D 5e supplemental materials for game masters to use. If they don't want to homebrew their whole own world, then they can go purchase Gooey Cube. Gooey Cube does it for you. It's very good. Link is also in chat for them. Huge shout out to all of our campaign members and Tanner Methalidor for helping us get our Twiki or our Twee Wikipedia, if you want to longhand it, up and running. There is a whole lot of information in there. It's very good, and the link is in chat. And last but not least, guys, we're starting a new charity. It's the beginning of the month. We certainly just didn't scramble the last 5 minutes to get that updated. No, we're totally great. But
I'm so good.
Guys, we're doing
my brain took this whole week off. I was like, I don't have Saturday. Fully shut down.
That's it. Yeah, forgot everything. But genuinely, we are very excited to ask folks to consider donating to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. The mission of St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital is to advance cures and means of prevention and pediatric
there we go.
Catastrophic diseases, which are not funny, just my inability to speak is funny, through research and treatment. Consistent with the vision of our founder, Danny Thomas, no child is denied treatment based on race, religion, or a family's ability to pay. St. Jude's has been around forever, we would very much love for you to consider donating there before you spend money on subs or bits or whatever. Instead, click on the link in chat or go to the donate button. There's a big donate button on the About Us page and submit a donation in our name, in your name, in a family member's name, in a loved one's name, whatever. Just do it for funsies. I don't know. But make a donation. These kids very much need and deserve it. And it's a cause very near and dear to many of our hearts because cancer, man. All right. And with that very sad note, now we move on to the show. So tonal change.
Hello.
Lydia, you're here with us. We're excited to have you.
Hi, it's nice to be had.
Okay. So what we do on the show, right, is we kind of like do a little bit of painting or crafting. So I'm still working on the same guy that I've been working on, I think, for the last 3 Highlight Heroes episodes. He does look very good. So this is him. Parker, what are you working on?
I'm still working on the one from last time. So I'm working on this little stone, like, earth elemental that I want to look like a geode, but I'm doing his base paint right now.
Oh, that's so cool. And so, okay, here, spoilers for those of you who are not caught up on Conundrum Company, but there's a whole thing going on with a geode right now, and I had written and done the map, like, months ago, and you brought this up, and I was like,
yeah, I was like, oh,
so
well,
good.
you know me. I like to grab something from the comic book store and be like, I'm going to paint it something else. I did the, like, poison dart froghemoth and, like, things like that, and, like, the Valentine's owlbear. So, like, I like painting things in not normal ways, and so I was like, oh, like, I have a bunch of colors that, like, I could make it look like a geode, like, smashed open. Like, that'd be cool. Like, and, yeah, we got to CC, and I was like,
wait a minute. I was literally, like, holding everything in because I was like, that's so on... you don't even know how, like, in line with what we're doing that is.
I enjoyed you being like, cool.
Cool. Nice, yeah.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm making a Frankenpunk map. Usually I draw them myself, and it's very fun for me because I recently got, like, an iPad and an actual pen, so...
You even have, like, is that, like, a handle? Or is that just, like, the folded edge?
It's the
magnetic
folded...
edge. Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Well, so we may see this featured in Frankenpunk soon, then, yes?
Yes. Next Frankenpunk game is August 13th.
That's
it's
soon.
called,
Nice.
yeah, it's called Poison's Air.
Okay. So
Ooh.
Somewhere Bound next Friday the 13th, guys. Go check it out.
Friday the
Yeah.
13th. Nice.
Oh.
I'm
Nothing
sure that'll
bad
go
ever
really well for all of your
Nothing
players.
bad ever happens in Frankenpunk.
That had the same
Like,
energy as nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, nothing ever happens to the
Nothing
players in
does.
Frankenpunk.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a good
that's
time.
amazing.
No trauma. Ever.
No?
No?
No.
Somehow,
Never.
Faye, you don't... Are you lying to us?
The face! Oh, God! Oh, no. Okay.
I love that.
Well, on that note, I'll start the questions, I guess. Oh, buddy. Okay. Faye, how'd you get into D&D and TTRPGs?
It happened my freshman year of college, which was 3 years ago. Oh God.
You're gonna make us feel old by saying "oh God" to that, so just move on. Move
All right.
on, right on,
Thank
right
you.
on.
Let's not dwell on it. Let's not dwell on it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
But it was my freshman year of college. Everybody cringe. And I had become friends with this girl on my floor who, like, had a bunch of other friends, theater department, who could have guessed. They all played D&D. And I had, like, I'd learned of, like, the resurgence from, like, Stranger Things and everything, but I hadn't really played it before. And so I was invited, like, that winter break or so, sometime around then, to, like, come do, like, a vampire one-shot. And I was like, okay. And then, like, it took a lot of energy to, like, be like, I'm gonna get out of my room, and I'm gonna go, and I guess I'm gonna go sit with a few strangers for a few hours and vividly hallucinate this entire situation with dice. And so then I had a lot of anxiety, and I was like, I can't do it. And then my friends were like, okay, but we have like this campaign starting soon. So like, would you want to do that? And I was like, I have no idea what a campaign is, but yeah, sure. So then I started this one first game I ever played. I staged a political assassination.
Good lord.
Yeah. I wasn't even the one shooting the shot. It was actually a badger. I set
I
fire
love that.
I set fire to the stage that the politician was on. And then we all just like beat the crap out of him and found like a cursed book. And yeah, that was how I really got into D&D. Afterwards I was like, "Oh, this is what it's about." So it was really fun.
Okay, this is a Lydia-ism. Excuse me, a Faye-ism.
Yeah.
You have this incredible and uncanny ability to say as little about a story as possible and make it completely engaging. You're like, it wasn't even me who pulled the trigger. It was a badger. And I'm like, I'm sold.
The badger. It had a feathered kimono. Let me paint the scene. We're in the church. We're on the second floor of an abandoned building. I whisper into its ear, "Take the shot. Do it." "You won't."
Bet. I whispered in its ear. Bet.
And that was all they wrote. Oh, that's amazing. Okay. So you've been at D&D for a few years now, right? Like,
Yeah.
So tell us, tell the audience, what's your favorite class to play?
Flavor-wise, I really like warlocks.
Oh.
But I've found recently that I really like rogues, partly because I understand the combat mechanics a bit better. I'm trying to familiarize myself a bit more with like spell mechanics and like battle mechanics, but it's always a process.
A mood.
Mm.
That's cool. Rogues are fun. They are a very fun class to play.
I can just stab something and then leave.
I think they're popular because they meet like a good middle ground between like brain off barbarian and all the math wizard, right? Like,
Yeah.
they're like
I loved the mastermind one. Is my favorite. I'm like, you took a wizard that wasn't good at magic and went stab something. Like arcane trickster and
You're a
mastermind are my
college
favorites.
dropout.
You're a
Isn't
college.
that-
Yeah, you had potential, but here, stab something. You got really good at sneaking out of your parents' house. Please stab this person. You know, all of our former gifted kids.
Oh yeah.
I speak from experience. So, let's see. Do you have a favorite race to play?
I really like Azamar, just because of the flavoring. I mean, who doesn't love the little religious trauma of it all?
Oh my gosh.
Like,
I'm loving
like-
all of these answers.
They're
Thank
very
you.
good.
thank you. Well, it is just very fun. Like, my first character ever was an Azamar. She's an Azamar wild magic sorcerer.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
She's fun.
So you're a religious trauma fan. Have you like clerics? Do you enjoy clerics?
No, as I said, I like warlocks.
Okay.
I've said before, like, you can tell what flavor religious trauma someone has with do they main paladins, clerics, or warlocks.
Oh, that's.
I'd like you to explain,
Yes.
please. In depth, explain.
Give us
Well-
more.
Paladins have, like, before felt invested in their cause and their purpose, and they've, like, followed that for a long time. And then sometimes there's a breaking point to which, like, they realize that, like, oh, I can't follow this anymore. Or at least that's what I've seen in my experience. With clerics, it's a lot of, like, yes, I know the book, I know, like, what it's supposed to be like, and then, like, you actually meet the god, and it's a frat guy. Maybe I've watched a lot of Dimension 20.
It's so good.
Fair.
Oh, Kirsten.
And
Such a
and warlocks, I feel like, have, like, that seed of doubt, and it grows and it grows, and you are sometimes, like, not necessarily willingly bound at a certain point.
Okay, interesting. So we're learning about you personally quite deeply right
A
now.
little bit.
Yeah, you've just given us. There was just alluded to some life context.
Perhaps I'm a pastor's child. I'll never tell.
That's secrets. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So then you've told us your kind of favorite class to play. Is there a class you haven't played yet that you want to try or one you want to revisit?
There's a lot of classes I haven't played. I've played sorcerer, warlock, rogue. There's like 2 others, but I've only played like 5. I have not had that much experience as a player.
You DM a lot, right?
Yeah, once I turned to DMing, I haven't become the forever DM. Actually, here's another thing to plug. I'm also in a Summerbound campaign. I forgot about that.
You're like, oops, my bad. I
Wait
am
a
also
second.
playing.
Yeah, I'm in the Mortal Reverie campaign. It just started. There's only 2 episodes out so far. I play a cottagecore rogue in that named Rosalind.
Oh, that
Very
cosplay
cute.
is so cute.
Amazing.
I can't wait to cosplay her again.
Very cute.
It's so good.
Cottagecore Rogue is also a phenomenal concept.
Yeah. Because, yeah, with that, I was like, all the rogues are so edgy. What if I just, like, made it a little cottagecore and a little flowery and... I'll never tell.
A little softer.
Yeah.
That's so
The
good.
trauma's hidden.
We like our trauma in layers, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is there a race you want to try next that you haven't tried?
I want to get more into, like, monstrous races. It's mostly just, like, I want to be able to cosplay them at this point. But, like, if I do a half-orc, I gotta find some tusks and some green face paint. And it's not to say that I won't, but, like, ooh.
It's a lot.
I'll wait
be
till I
surprised
find 'em.
once you make that character and then you're like, I have to cosplay it, and then you do it and you're like, I love them enough to do it, I guess. And then you sit there doing body paint for an hour and you're like, do I? And then you make them cry in your videos and then you're like, don't run! Stop it.
It's almost like you're speaking from experience here, Parker.
It's almost like I painted myself blue. And then I was like, I'm not going to do this for campaign 2. And then I was like, no.
Except for I am.
It's fun to do like the weird colors and the just aesthetically. It's very pleasing. I would love to see. So if you were to pick a monstrous race to start out your endeavor into body paint, what would you do?
I might do like half orc or goblin.
Good choices.
Goblins are fun.
Yeah, because it would be easier. It's easier to make myself look small than to look big because, like, I'm 5'3". I don't have the energy of a tall person. At least I don't think so.
Same.
You are a tall person.
But I don't have the energy of it.
Confused everybody.
You have the tall person energy.
Thank you. That's the nicest thing
You're
you've ever said,
welcome.
Faye. Thank you,
Aw.
thank you. Goblins are tons of fun to play, though. I secretly play a lot of goblins offline because none of them are well behaved enough to be put on the internet because they're goblins, and it's a blast. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
So here's where we really get into the juicy.
I love the hot takes.
Yes.
They're my favorites.
What is your least favorite class to play? Which one of you had the worst experience with, and why?
Well, honestly, I love spellcasters, but, like, spell slots are so confusing. I really want to play a wizard, but, like, I feel like they're not exactly built the best.
Oh.
And I don't want to die.
It's that lack of AC. That lack of hit points. That's valid, though.
Yeah.
I don't know that we've ever gotten wizard for that. Maybe we have, actually.
Maybe like once.
Yeah. That's very
maybe
interesting.
once.
And very valid.
Yeah.
So
I also don't like having not a lot of hit points, which is why I played a bard that was like, I'm tired of dying. I'm going to take this feat. Looks like a nice feat that looks like a nice extra hit points. Thank you.
I'm going to take your feet. Thank you.
Thank you. Very much.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Wizards, yeah, interesting.
Is there, so I'm curious because you said that there are a lot of classes that you haven't gotten to play. This is a little off book, but is there one that you like have absolutely no interest in? Like, because that's like the least favorite to play, but like, is there one that you're just like, I don't care?
I don't
I'm
know.
good.
Maybe it's just that I haven't actually learned the mechanics of them, but I'm gonna go like Paladin.
Okay.
It's just that I honestly see a lot of like Paladin like supremacy of like, oh, Paladins are so good to play, and like I'm not like ragging on any of my friends who love Paladins. It's just that I'm just like, and I don't like them.
Hulda had a similar answer. Hulda also, I think, said Paladins, and it had to do with the fact that like a bad experience with a person that mained Paladins. And I'm like, there is a particular kind of person that mains Paladins. Not every single one of them, but there is that one.
I think that really also is like a statement in of itself, Parker, right? Because you like
Yeah.
the fact that people say main Paladin, but no one ever says main any other class. They're like, I prefer to play, and then people are like, I'm a Paladin main, and you're like, okay, you've played a lot of MMOs.
Yeah. Hello.
So,
Oh gosh.
valid. Fucking valid.
So let's see. Do you have a least favorite race to play and why? Or one that just doesn't interest you?
Not really. Like they're all pretty interesting. Like you can change flavor with like any of them, and it's another race I kind of want to play is like Drow.
Ooh.
Drow are just freaking cool. I love they like came out with like new subclasses of like Drow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it sounds so good.
I like Drow a lot. I only have one Drow character that I played once, and I loved her little concept, but she was a little gothic Lolita carrying like a black parasol. She was a little grave cleric. She was so cute. She had a little southern accent. It was very fun.
In the campaign that I played a goblin.
Yeah, the campaign that Josh was screaming.
Yeah. That was a very evil group of people.
It was.
Yeah.
Honestly, evil games are some of my favorites. The one shot, the cosplay ground that Sean ran that was an evil one shot was one of my favorites.
Oh,
it was very fun. Faye, where do you sit on the like humans being? Because I feel like people have very strong opinions on this, like whether or not playing a human is fun in D&D, or you should play something else because you're in a fantasy world. Like, where do you fall on that one?
I mean, I feel like it's I feel like it's still like a valid thing. Like if you want to like picture like a human among all these fantastical creatures, there is still like that line to reality that like you kind of do want.
Yeah.
Of the like you can still be fantastical even if you're among the extraordinary.
Yeah. I feel like people also get that kind of viewpoint with like fighters.
Yeah.
Like, these are normal people that learned how to fight real good.
This dude.
This is just a dude. Like,
God,
this is just a guy.
Look at this absolute Chad work through some stuff.
Listen.
So then you're here, you're in the D&D space, you're making all of this content that's incredible. How'd you get here? What's your origin story for content creation? Like, what sparked that?
Well, on TikTok it started because I made a meme about the first campaign I ever DM'd, which was not good. Not because just because like it was the first campaign I ever DM'd and it was like a year after I started playing. So like I still wasn't like extraordinary on any of the rules.
A mood.
So and plus I didn't like put down like strong whatever. But so like my friends all created their characters and like everyone was like, "Oh, I'm going to be like an elven bard and I'm going to be a halfling I'm going to be an elf wizard and a halfling bard and a dragonborn fighter and rogue and all these things." And then my other friend was like, "All right, I'm going to be an elven cleric and my alignment is going to be lawful or chaotic evil."
Oh god.
I'm like, "Okay." And so then I made a TikTok when that audio was super popular, like, hey, what?
Yeah.
And it was that of like people create their own characters, and then it's like, what?
What?
And so then I posted that, and it got a lot of reach, and I was like, oh, that was so much. Maybe I'll just start making D&D memes. And so then I started to do that, and it just kept on going and going. And then eventually, the first, I can't quite remember what was like the first stream I ever guested on, but I was on like a smaller campaign that was not to my taste for several reasons. And like I did a few one-shots, and then I think it was Noah who was like, I'm doing a group project, and do you want to be a part of this TikTok thing? And I was like, yeah. And then quarantine hit, and he was like, do you want to just play D&D instead? I was like, yeah. And so then I was on the rolling tides on the Welcome In. And then stuff kept on happening, and then school, and then everything, and yeah. And so it mainly just started after I made a meme about my first campaign, and it's pretty fun.
You made a meme. That meme was good, and that's all she wrote.
Exactly.
Made a meme, and
Sometimes it just takes a meme, right? The spark is the meme.
All it takes is a meme.
Well, no, guys, Parker's got one more question, but start writing in your personal questions here, because in a minute, I'm going to start reading them out from y'all. So, again, if you can highlight them, it's much appreciated, because it's easy for us to see, to read out, and we'll be asking your questions to Lydia. If you're not able to highlight them, our mods are keeping tabs. They'll try and highlight them for you, because we know bits and all that jazz. So, okay, but Parker, over to you.
What is your biggest hobby outside of D&D, Faye?
Not sure. I mean, I feel like TikTok kind of falls under D&D.
Yeah,
but I do draw, and I haven't sewed in quite a while, but I do sew. I sew. And yeah, a lot with just like school and work. I don't exactly have time for hobbies. D&D is like my main one, and it's one of my favorites.
It's a very good one.
Yeah.
Do you do any stuff with other TTRPGs at all?
I really want to start branching out into like Kids on Brooms and Kids on Bikes, Teens on Brooms, Teens in Space. Whatever.
That
like
whole
those
line.
that seems like a lot of fun. There's actually one that I just saw on TikTok, and then I immediately scoured to find, and it's called Babes in the Woods. And it's so like okay, so it's a little bit pretty much based on Over the Garden Wall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was like $35 to get, but I think it was completely worth it. I cannot wait to have the hard copy. But I'm really looking forward to playing that with my friends. I hear it's like rules light, and like you can play as a kid or as an animal or as like a teen or a wood child, or a toy, but like a wood child is like
cute.
Someone who's been in the woods a kid who's been in the woods for a long time and can't remember where he came from.
That's
and like
so cute.
There's a beast in the woods, and it looks real good.
It's got that like creepy, cute synergy going.
Yeah.
I love that. That's
Got
good.
the Halloween energy. It takes place on Halloween night.
That's
Perfect.
very cute.
Perfect. All right, so question time again, guys. Keep highlighting your questions. We've seen already a few coming in, but now is your chance to ask. So, the first question comes from Tanner Methalador, Faye, and he asks, if you could find familiar in real life, what would your familiar be? And like the sky's the limit. Oh wow.
What was it?
Raccoon.
Ah, nice.
So any reason why raccoon? Is it just that?
Why not pick a trash panda?
I just think we understand each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have this
There's
really...
never been There's never been a time that I haven't looked at a raccoon and been like, I know exactly what's going on in your head.
Okay, I was about to say, I genuinely see you standing in like a street just lit by one spotlight, like from an overhead lamp, and there's just you and a raccoon at a respectful distance, kind of giving each other a nod, and then going the opposite direction.
That's really cute.
Or what's worse, me just standing in the middle of the street, raising one hand, and the raccoons all converge out.
Oh no, you summon them?
I summon them, raccoons.
That gets scary immediately. Oh my lord.
And adorable.
True. Seraph Blade 25 asks, what is one of your favorite moments in Dungeons and Dragons, either as a player or a DM? Or both?
Oh, okay. So, one of my favorite moments as a player, there's a bit of a backstory to this. So, like, my first character, Medea, she was a wild magic sorcerer, Azamar, who, like, escaped from a cult, and she was, like, being followed by Father Orpheus, who is, like, the leader of the cult. And, so then the party had eventually gotten to, like, a point where we were gonna help another party member, the paladin. His father was going insane because of a curse, and was like trying to kill him, so we were going to go in there and like fight this huge battle. And there's this one guy who was like there to like assist, and his name was Jason, and he was an absolute asshole. And we were constantly just like, can we just kill this guy? I want to take him out of the kneecaps. I feel like that would be fun. We don't need him. I can cast this spell. I was literally like, I can cast this spell. Before the game started, I was like, hey, where's the greater transportation spell or dimension whatever? There's like a travel
spell, yeah.
Yeah,
teleportation
that I had gotten
or something.
at like 9th level.
Yeah.
And I was like, I actually just got this because we just leveled up. And like the DM froze and was like, you have this spell? I was like, yeah. So like we go through, and Jason is just like a dick, and eventually, like, we go through the door, and Jason immediately is like, I brought them here, now I'll take what's mine, and he drops the disguise, and it's Father Orpheus. And so then we're, like, fighting, and then, like, me, during the fight, in between rounds, I had a moment where I went, oh my god, what the fuck, how didn't I see this? Because my character's name was Medea and Jason from Greek mythology.
Nice. That's very good.
and so then I was just like sprinting around the room, just goblin screaming, and the DM has this shit-eating grin, and and then the alternate of me as a DM, my favorite moment was actually in a Frankenpunk episode. So spoilers, if you're gonna watch it, this is from Steam and Air.
Heads up, guys. Cover your ears if you don't want to hear.
There's this moment where the human cleric, Harvey, finds this like piece of like mineralized arcana, which has like the sort of echo of like Bertha Mason, who's the wife of Mr. Rochester, who had actually died in this world. And there's this entire thing with like sort of hallucinations for both Harvey and another player's character, Bonnie, because they both interacted with it and then went back to their rooms. So like I had Bonnie go into like her bedroom, and there was like Phelan, another PC, and then like the player Hulda was like, what? And I was like, no, don't worry, you don't have to RP for this. Like horrified. And so then like I go from like the biggest wish to like their biggest nightmare of like, oh, Phelan confessing to Bonnie and then laughing at her face and calling her insane. And then I went to Harvey's, which was him seeing his father and Robin, his girlfriend, in his room, like talking about like, oh, Robin and Harvey getting married. And like the father talking about how like, oh, Harvey, you're gonna become just like me, and like trending like that, and everyone's just like losing their mind with like, what's happening? And then as soon as like the scene ends, you can see me just like sit back and just pleased as hell. It was so much fun.
That's very
Oh my
good.
God.
Oh, I mean, going back to like your answer about mixing literary and mythical reference in there, that is my favorite. Like, I made the first like 60 lines of the Canterbury Tales and then shifted it to be about orcs because one of our players, Button, is a big fan of like early lit, and I'm like, okay, we'll do. And
I just make
anytime,
Illithid and Odyssey jokes. That's all I
yeah,
do.
you listen in the Odyssey.
And now it's a canon book.
And now it's a real book. That's where it belongs. Oh, okay. Questions. Going back here. Let's see. Cantily Sklad asks, would you have you ever played Call of Cthulhu? And what's your favorite memory if you have?
I actually got like the starter pack from Call of Cthulhu because like someone got it for me off like a wish list, and I haven't played it yet, and I really want to because like one of my favorite things is playing with like madness. See Frankenpunk, and like it's so much fun. I want to.
It seems right up your alley. Just like knowing that.
Kate loves it.
Yeah.
Kate loves it.
Oh yeah, Kate is a huge fan. Okay,
Yeah.
you've been getting a lot of big questions. Here's a nice fun one coming from Chelsea Hey 93. I'm sorry, guys. What is your favorite spell?
Favorite spell? I haven't played a spellcaster in a while, but I mean, Crown of Crown of Madness.
Okay.
It's neat.
It's
Who
neat.
doesn't love a little impromptu jewelry?
I just love the Crown of Madness. You know, it's neat. That should be the tagline. For that spell.
I like
Neat.
the madness train just continues.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah, there's a theme
It's
here.
important to have your niche.
Phase is
Not
insane,
called-
people.
Not called Gothic for nothing.
Yeah! Woo-hoo! Oh, man. Okay, Punky Dino asks, what's your favorite part of running Homebrews? Is it coming up with the story, weaving the player characters' backstories into it, world building, or planning NPCs/encounters? Or is it something else?
I feel like it's a bit of like NPCs. I feel like NPCs are the most fun, along with like creating environments, because like if I can get the environment straight in my head and then I have an NPC there who knows stuff that they don't, then that's very fun.
It makes sense too, like, you do gothic and horror, and they so much require NPC characterization and atmosphere development more than anything else, I think, personally.
Fair.
Yeah, like, and you do a very good job of it. Like, you very much set ambiance, which is just critical. Oh, man. Okay, B. Sontag asks, what was the weirdest way you or one of your players used a magic item or spell? I like this question. This is good.
Oh gosh, I'm not sure. I feel like most players I know aren't really like ready to like just use spells in like a narrative at least in like a goofy way. I haven't seen anyone be like mage hand them and pants them. I personally would do that.
What's one that you've done?
Yeah.
Give your players some inspiration there.
Well, I set a stage on fire that had a political figure on it.
You did do that.
And I did it from I can't remember what maybe I cast Friends on like a halfling working. Because I know I befriended one magically, and I was like, you're going to go under the stage and you're going to wait half an hour, then you're going to set it on fire. You don't have to stay there. If you want to get out, then like sure. If you don't, then like that's also fine. So like I think that's the most I should play another spellcaster soon. Just for that.
Just for chaos creation.
We have some good flavor characters. I don't want to derail too much. We don't have off the rails this week, but
But most Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern.
But most Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Josh, I want to know what your answer to this question is, because you looked very excited about the question.
What craziest thing I've done with a spell?
Or craziest thing one of your players, the weirdest way you or one of your players used a magic item or spell. Because I'm very curious, because you were very hype about this question.
I love the so I think Faye, Faye and I have the same problem, which is that you play enough D&D and the moments are like, I know they're there, there's 800 stories, and I can't remember any of them at this specific moment, right? Which I'm sure you have that too, Parker, right? You're like, I know.
You were so excited. I was like, I want to know what answer he just thought of.
I was just excited to hear Faye's answer.
I was like, please.
Tell us what's up.
Weird. So I will say, one of the, Parker, just because you're here, I've seen many. One that immediately comes to mind is I used a water elemental against Parker's party, and Parker got consumed by the water elemental, and then had her character cast Armor of Agathis on herself, and the water elemental's static ability pretty much killed it on the Armor of Agathis, because Parker was inside it, and it was just constantly triggering these attacks.
I'm also a water genasi, so I could breathe. So I was like, hit me!
It was very good. It was a very strange way for a monster to die. I loved that. That one
was fun. I forgot about that. Yeah. I think it was fun, because everybody was like, get out of there, and I'm like, I can breathe.
Yeah, I mean, I DM for and play with a lot of very creative people, so it's like constant. I mean, Sean just loves putting DMs through the loop with weird uses of spells, so the list's a mile long, but that's amazing. Okay, moving on. The Auburn Alchemist asks, has there been a moment or character that has impacted you significantly in real life, Faye?
I feel like DMs that I know haven't been like super ready to like kill off or anything, but I feel like if I did actually lose any of the NPCs that I actually was attached to, that would hurt me. That would like impact me in real life. I would be like actually mourning, like well, this isn't necessarily impact me. I just remembered like another story. I thought of like the craziest. So I'm gonna derail this with a story.
Please.
So in like the first campaign that I was in, there is this one session where my friend Jacob came in as like a guest player, and he came in as this like Goliath. I don't know what, but he could tell the future, and the way that he could tell the future was that the DM had given him this like box, and like the like little stones, the little colored like stones that you find at like, I don't know, weddings or like in bowls in people's houses.
Yeah.
Like the beads,
like decorative things that are like
they're like flat on one side and
yeah.
So he had like a bunch of those, and what he would do, he would like shake them and then let them fall in the box, and then he would tell the future from that. And so then we were all like taking this very seriously, and we were like, yeah, you can tell the future, even though it is completely like, this is up to chance. But like we were trying to decide where to sleep for the night. And he, like, tosses the stones, and he's like, there's going to be an attack tonight. And, like, we're all going to be, like, surrounded on this one side. There's going to be, like, a something. And the DM froze, and we were like, oh, my God, there's going to be an attack tonight. So we, like, spent, like, half an hour, like, 45 minutes of, like, all right, so we're going to get 2 rooms. And I'm going to be in a closet because they thought they were after me. And, like, the bard's going to be on the bed, and the blood hunter is gonna be like sitting in the room, and like all this stuff, and then the paladin was in the way across with like the Goliath or whatever, but like the paladin was alone in the room, just like waiting with like his sword, and like waiting for like this attack. And it turns out the attack was for him. And so we had completely isolated with like
The worst planning with the best intentions.
yeah.
Classic
And-
D&D.
Yeah.
So
We
then,
did so well until we actually had something happen.
I was in the closet for the entire thing of combat because they thought everyone was like, "Oh, the plan worked. They're after Medea." And like the Goliath is going in between the two buildings, jumping into the window and hanging off and going, "Something is wrong." Of like alerting people that there's something happening. But like
One
man,
of those wonderful split the party moments where you're like,
Future
we thought we had a
telling.
good idea.
I do really love, like, that idea of, like, future telling. I love the idea of, like, yeah, you read the future, an attack is coming, but then it's, like, an attack by mosquitoes, and you, like,
It's always
stay up
true
all night.
somehow.
Yeah.
It's like how you have to be very careful with the language choice on Wish.
Yeah.
It's like that is the future, but not what you thought.
Yeah, you don't realize what you're getting out of this.
Oh my gosh.
So, we've got another question in here from A. Sam, which I think is supposed to be awesome, and I love it. Has there been a character or NPC that is close to you? So this is kind of similar. Like, you mentioned this earlier. Like, is there a particular character that really, like... Or NPC?
well, NPC-wise, at least in Frankenpunk, there are a few. There's actually one coming up in the next game that I'm like, I love them. But one of the NPCs, Mary Shelley, is one of the headmasters of like the college Glassrook.
So good.
So like, she is so tired. She is like, she was murdered in an episode, and she's still just like tired. She's alive. It's fine.
I got better.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, I had an extra heart in my handbag. You don't carry the calcified heart? You don't carry the calcified heart of your husband in your handbag? God.
How Mary
Animals.
Shelley.
That was an actual thing she did, by the way.
Really?
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's perfect.
Yeah.
God, that's brilliant.
Was that like a she did that and somehow it was like a revivify spell? Like, is that her like break glass if die?
Yeah, kind of a like,
I love that.
this is like the last resort.
She's like,
Insert
oh, man.
heart if necessary, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Okay, we've got one more question on the board right now, guys, which is pretty good. We're reaching the end here. And that question comes from B. Sontag, and it is, what are your favorite monsters to throw at your players?
Okay, if it's gonna also, I know you have a game coming up. If the answer will like ruin anything, tell us like a variety of monster
Yeah.
or why you like to pick them. I'm gonna guess it's something that fucks with people's heads.
Yeah, go figure.
A little bit.
Okay,
I like.
Well,
I
well
like,
good call, Parker. Well,
thank
well,
you.
I
I'm learning
like
a lot.
like ghosts and stuff.
Yep.
Stuff like spectral. That's always fun. The undead, you know,
Yeah,
doesn't
Just
like
a
a
little
little
gothic.
fella
yeah.
coming in.
Oh, man. Someday we need to sit down and talk, like, Warhammer together, because Gothic fantasy, they do it very well, my friend. They do it very well. I'm sorry. Another time, unrelated, but that's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, anything with skulls or creepiness or ghosts. Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh, we need to talk Grim Hollow, too. I'm sorry. Anyway,
From Hollow's
very good book. You'd love it.
There's some scary shit in there.
It really is. One more question snuck in, and it's a really cute question, so I'm going to ask it, and then we're going to close it out, guys, and we'll do a few final announcements, and Faye will share everything that they're doing with you one more time. But that question is from Chelsea Hay 93. What's your favorite snack/drink to have whilst playing D&D? This is a fantastic question. It's
A very
so
cute
wholesome.
question.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a lot of Red Bull while DMing. At least like Frankenpunk, I have like one or two like 12-ounce cans. And like at a certain point there is someone got me like a case off of my wish list that was like 20-ounce cans of Red Bull. And the thing was that I had like gotten bigger and bigger cans as I went, just as it happened. And I was in like the student senate at my college, and so I'd come in meetings with bigger cans. Eventually, like finals week, and I have like the 20 ounce, and they're like, if you have anything bigger, you're going to die. You're 5'3" and 120 pounds. Can you nap? Are you able to sleep?
I like the idea of just like you being like, I'm gonna have these 2 Red Bulls because I'm gonna make it through this game, but I will not sleep afterwards. Like I'm gonna make but I won't be sleeping.
See, I think you underestimate me though, because
I really like sleep.
Well, the fact is that I have been too lazy to get up and go get water before, but I have had an 8-ounce can of peach Red Bull on my dresser. I have chugged a can of peach Red Bull and then immediately gone to sleep afterwards.
What?
I can't imagine that's great for your body.
What?
It's really not. It just means that I'm not getting as much rest as I should.
That's insane.
You're like, I wonder why I had a very like fitful sleep. I can't fathom the answer. My heart felt like it was gonna give out.
My heart is feeling for you. It's beating faster just in proximity for hearing this.
Like, I have my tea during our games, and then when my players stay up till 4, I go the fuck to sleep.
Yeah, Parker knows that I can't have caffeine after like 8 o'clock in the evening because I'm.
Yeah, I'm always just like, I'm on my 4th cup of coffee, and everyone's like, it's 10 p.m. And I go,
Oh, wow. That is incredible, Faye. I also love that it was a really cute question, and the answer was feral as hell, and it's the best. Yes!
Yeah, it's always feral. Oh, God.
Oh, my lord. Okay, so we're going to end it here, my friends. Thank you, chat. Now, before we do announcements, Faye, where can the people find you? What you working on?
You can find me on Somewhere Bound. You can, for the Mortal Reverie campaign every other Saturday, and for Frankenpunk, which is like, the schedule is updated, and TikTok, Gothicfaerie, Twitter, Gothicfaerie _. I think that's about it, but yeah, you can find me usually DMing or playing on Somewhere Bound.
That's right. It's good stuff, my friends, so go check it out. Now, a few quick announcements. We'll close out here. Stick with us because we'll do a raid and whatnot. But thank you to our partners, Soundtail. Soundtail brings so much amazing ambiance to our games, even our interview shows. It's doing the tavern music right now that you guys are hearing. Soundtail, I don't use it on Somewhere Bound too. Soundtail is very good. The link is in chat. Click on it. Go take a look because we love them. Get yourself a copy of it. It is very, very good. Highly recommend it. Parker, what you got?
I'm here to talk about our affiliates. We're affiliated with Found Familiar Coffee. If you want D&D inspired coffee because you can't survive without it, like me, you can use our code in chat for 10% off. We are also now affiliated with Crafty Gamer, which does these amazing like Aromas of Adventures candles that we just gave away on Saturday. We'll be working with them as we go on, so check out the link in chat. Let them know that we sent you and use that code as well for 10% off. And then also a big shout out to Arcane Anthems, who does our themes for both our campaigns as well as our little waiting theme here. I saw somebody asked about it. So Weston's great. You can check him out on Patreon. He does some really, really wonderful free D&D music.
Very solid.
That's
very
it.
solid. And of course, last but not least, a huge thank you to our mods who keep up with us when we do crazy rattling off of announcements in no particular order and change things up on them at the last minute. We love you guys. Thank you. You do everything wonderfully. And with that, Faye, again, thank you so much for being with us here.
Thank you.
Guys, go check out Faye's work on TikTok, Somewhere Bound, all that stuff. And, you know, we weren't working on anything particularly show-offy, so here... It's cool. See the map on Somewhere Bound in the future. Yeah.
Yeah. Got the texturing done.
Ooh, we love textures. Okay, bye everybody. Stay with us and we'll raid.
Yeah.